Natural health. And I wanted to talk to you about something today that I was dealing with this morning. Someone commented on a post that I left in TikTok a while ago, and they just said something that really struck me and hit home with me. And I thought it was an interesting conversation to have with you. And so the person had left a comment and basically said, because I talked about how I've reversed all my MS symptoms, I used food, I used natural means to be able to do so, and the person left a genuine comment and said, "Okay, well, do your labs look any different? If you go for an MRI, is your MRI clean? Has there been changes noticed there?" And I get it because I went through a time in life as well where I thought that the MRI was the be all end all. I thought that a clean MRI was the goal. But what I realized over time and with the progress that I've made is the shift in perspective from focus on, I need a clean MRI. I need this to reverse itself. I need that to get better. What's the goal? What's your goal? And when I started to realize if I focused on my goal is to feel better, my goal is to get rid of symptoms, to not deal with the side effects of the medication I was on, to not deal with the change in my quality of life that I'd been experiencing all my years of living with MS. That was a much more important goal for me to focus on. And it opens new doors. If you can start to focus on what do you want? Yeah, okay, clean MRIs would be cool, but does that necessarily mean that you're going to feel better? If you can focus on what do I need to do? What do I need to start changing to be able to feel better? Things will happen for you. And I wanted to address this and share this on a broader spectrum as well, because this is something that I think we're, I mean, I was conditioned from a young age to think that normal blood work was the goal. Normal MRI, normal CAT scan, whatever it was, that was ultimately the goal. But if you're looking at that and asking yourself, does that change my quality of life? Maybe. But if we start focusing on what's the life that I want? How do I want to feel? Do I want to have the energy to go out for walks with my spouse? I had a conversation with my spouse the other day, and we were laughing about how when we first got together, we would go to Bronte Creek Provincial Park, which is really close to us, and we'd go for walks. And we were new at the time. So I didn't want to just seem like a party pooper and I didn't want to seem like someone who complained all the time, but I was also still in the throes of going through changing diet and still on the medication and still had really low energy. And so I went out on this trail and I looked and I thought, like, what if we go too far? What if we turn around and I can't get back home? Then what? Then what am I gonna say to her? So there was this level of discomfort, and we were laughing because now we can go out and we can hike and we can do all kinds of things that I couldn't do when I was still in that place. And that was a part of looking at things, looking at life and saying, "What do I want? What is the goal? What is the overall goal? Is it to have better quality of life? Is to have better energy? Is it to sleep better? Is to not have crazy periods?" Whatever you're dealing with in terms of a condition, in terms of symptoms, when we can start focusing on what you want, the goal that you're looking for, then you can start figuring out, what do I need to do to get there? And one thing I will tell you, there is going to be some effort on your part. This is something I've also been talking with clients about this week. Supplementation is amazing. Medication can be helpful at times. There are supports for your system to be able to function better. In my opinion, natural supplementation is the way to go, but there still is going to be work from your part. You can't expect, is it the Einstein quote? You can't expect to do the same thing over and over again and get a different result. We need to make changes. And nutrition is one that is a big thing that I focus on. And that was a big part of the changes that I made that allowed me to get to where I am now. I did a kind of a paleo way of eating out for at first. I did keto for a little while, just more clean keto, because now you can go to the store and you can buy all kinds of things that have a keto label on them. In my opinion, it's not keto if it's full of all kinds of stuff. The food that we want to focus on, or the food that I think is the most important as humans, is to focus on real whole foods, foods that are the way nature designed them. And we talked the other day about sugar and about how avoiding sugar is a good thing to do because the impact it has on your nervous system, on your immune system, on blood sugar, causes inflammation. There's all kinds of different problems there as well. But now the companies have gotten smart to that. So a lot of things will say only 1 gram of sugar, but then if you actually look at what's in the product, there's a lot of other crap that's not really going to be beneficial for you either. So if we can focus on food from a perspective of eat the things that are real whole foods, it shouldn't have a package. If it does have a package, the ingredients should be beef, carrot, tomato, apple. We want to focus on the real whole foods because the body knows what to do with that. And when we start to do this, you can figure out what are the foods that your body doesn't like and what are the foods that it doesn't also. And this is, I posted yesterday on this too, like even healthy foods are not going to be healthy for you if they're causing inflammation in your system. And if you're eating a lot of processed and packaged foods, it's really hard to determine what your body likes because there's not one ingredient in there. There's a lot of other things that can be problematic for people. So I completely squirreled there. That was a big part of my journey in reversing my MS symptoms. And I talk about that a lot because I think it's super powerful for people to realize that there's so much you can do for yourself. I went through years, I mean, as a kid, I was an 80s baby. I thought if anything is wrong with you, the doctor knows how to fix you. The doctor will save you. And I went through a period of my life too where I was raising money for MS and I thought, I'm just doing this so that there will be a cure, so that they can find a cure and I can get better. But you don't have to wait for that. And waiting for that is waiting for something outside of yourself to make the changes that you can do for yourself. There are things that are going to have to change. Yes. Food is going to be a part of it for most people, not for everybody. And that's where the testing that we do now is really helpful because we can see, is it chemicals? Is it heavy metals? What are the things that are causing inflammation in your system or causing you to not be able to function properly so that you're not feeling good? And what does your body need to remove or help to rebuild so that you can start functioning properly again? We didn't have quantum nutrition testing when I first started with diet, but I cut out everything. Like I said, I went paleo, so I cut out all processed and packaged foods, sugar, grains, most all legumes, most nightshades. I kept tomatoes. Somebody asked about that as well. I did keep some tomatoes because they didn't seem to be problematic for me. But there's kind of 2 ways you can do this if you're looking to figure out what foods are affecting you and what foods aren't. You can cut out everything and do it yourself, or we can test you and figure out specifically what do you need to remove and what can you keep? What are you okay with? Because not everyone's gonna respond to the same things, right? And it's not the goal is not that you cut out these foods for the rest of your life. That's not my goal. As a practitioner, my goal is to cut things out and give your body the opportunity to heal and to start functioning properly again. And then if your body allows, we reintroduce them back in. Months ago, well, probably a year ago, I had to cut out Brussels sprouts, which what? A lot of people too, I tell this to clients and they're like, "Ew, I hate Brussels sprouts, poor you." But I had to cut out Brussels sprouts because they were causing problems in my body. Over time, we supported and I was able to add them back in. But this is why it's important to give your body like take it out, give yourself a break, allow things to rebuild and to come back to where they're supposed to be. And the body is always trying to heal itself. And the question that I think is missing in a lot of context is if your body is not healing itself, if you're dealing with symptoms, if you're dealing with any kind of syndrome, that's not normal. A lot of women deal with it, and a common one or one that most people will recognize, PMS, premenstrual syndrome. We're not supposed to be dealing with syndromes, but we're conditioned to think that just because a lot of people have it, that it's normal, and it's not. This is where I can help you. This is where we can figure out where is the imbalance in your body? What's missing that your body needs to function properly? This could be a nutrient. This could be a vitamin, a mineral. This could be sleep. This could be water, clean water. This could be a variety of different things, or what's there that doesn't belong there. And we're in a place today in 2023, there's a lot of things that don't belong here. I'm in front of 2 screens right now. EMFs it's a constant stressor on the body. It's something that we're dealing with 24/7. I live in a townhouse. When I go and look for a Wi-Fi signal in my area, there's like I just keep scrolling. There's tons available. So even if you're turning your phone off at night or you're turning your router off or you're not sleeping beside it, we're still being impacted by this 24/7. And it's a constant stress signal on the body. Our food, there's chemicals, there's toxins, there's pesticides, there's all kinds of things in our food. Those are all stressors on the body. We deal with stress emotionally, mentally. Over in 2020 was a huge stress on everyone. So there's so many different reasons why your body may be responding to things, but don't ignore it, right? It's like silencing the smoke alarm in your house because it's going off, it's annoying. So you just silence it and you're like, "Huh, that's better. At least it's not bothering me." But it's going off for a reason. And when we have symptoms, or like myself, even with the MS stuff, I was dealing with all of these symptoms and I was, eager and waiting for somebody else to come up with a cure. But when I stopped focusing on, oh, I just need to get a clean MRI, I just want to get better test results, I just want the symptoms to go away, and asking, like, but what really do I want? I want the quality of life to be able to go out and walk with my spouse and not have to worry about, will I make it home? If we go too far, am I not going to make it back? Can I go hang out with these friends and actually be a part of this conversation? Do I have the energy to do that? There's a lot of different things that people deal with. And if you stop accepting that and start focusing on, okay, what do I want? What do I want my life to look like? There's a lot you can do to help yourself. Like I said, food's a big part of it, but there's many other things as well. And we can test you and figure out what's going on with you. What does your body need? What is your body missing, or what does it need to help getting rid of? And then you'll end up feeling better. The body is always trying to heal itself. So what do you want? What would you like your life to look like? What's there that you wish wasn't? This is something where we can help you. So send me a DM if you're interested in getting some support with whatever you're dealing with. If you want to talk about whatever you're dealing with, we do a free discovery call. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you to figure out what's going on and how we can help you get back to feeling amazing again, because we all should, right? We all should be able to live our lives and enjoy our lives. And if there are things getting in the way of that, we need to figure out what that is. So thank you for watching. It's Kate from Aligned Natural Health. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.